inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you, cause real women don't bitch, no. Real women don't, 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 real women don't bitch.
Hey, thank you for joining me on the Real Women Don't Bitch podcast. This is your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. I am the #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs because building mental muscle is necessary in order to implement successful business strategies. This show has been created for the woman who is not excuse-driven and needs help building a profitable business. I will be interviewing women from various fields who are willing to break the silence on struggles that specifically affect female entrepreneurs. Welcome to a show where I and guest speakers from time to time share our methods that help us beast our business no matter what is going on in our lives. Whether you are an online or brick and mortar business owner, this show is for you. We will hit every angle, personal, professional, and spiritual. Why? Because on any given day, you get hit with shit from a scenario involving one, more, or perhaps all of the above. It all impacts you and your mindset towards your business. I have made it my personal mission to provide a space where we dive deep into the BS we face on a day-to-day basis. Welcome back. What's going on, listeners? Ooh, I'm super duper excited. Now, y'all might get tired of me saying that. Why do I always say I'm excited? Because there's nothing like being in the presence of another powerful woman. That's what takes you to your next level. When you can be around somebody who sets you on fire. Now, I want to give a little backstory on the guest that I have coming on. Literally, this time last year, we were finalizing what was called the Real Talk for Business Mastery Summit. And I had the pleasure of interviewing this woman then. And the conversation was so off the chain. If any of you have been paying attention, she was the one where we talked about the acronym for fear. I actually cut and spliced her interview from the Real Talk for Business Mastery Summit and featured that in last season's podcast episode lineup. I have her here live with me. I was blessed to be able to finally see her physically when I was at the conference a couple of weeks ago, and she agreed to come on here again and to bless you all with some knowledge and some insight to help you stay the course with your vision. And let me just say this again, ladies. Last season, it was about the foundations. You got everything from sales strategy to you name it. Now, this season is all about elevation. What's been happening with you implementing all of these beautiful things that these women are sharing with you, and any tips, advice, and strategies that I'm giving on my solo episodes to get you to the next level. It's time for us to elevate. Let's have some landslides going out of 2018. And I know that my guest today, nobody goes harder than Constance Carter, is going to bring it to you all. So please say hello.
Hello, Miss August. How are you? I am so honored to be here, lady. Thank you.
I'm excited and I'm blushing. Look, I am glad.
But I'm loving this.
Yes. Look, I know. Now, she's on the road, you guys, so we don't get a YouTube load up for this one. Sad face. But it's okay. It's okay. So, look, I know you're traveling with family. Let's get in. Let's get this juice going, and let's bless these women. I know I gave information as to why I adore you, but go ahead and tell them a little bit about who is Constance Carter.
Who is Constance Carter? I'm Constance Carter. I am a wife, a mother, a business owner, and, amongst other things, but more importantly, I'm a wealth advocate. And so my mission and goal is just to help others to be able to find that path to see what they can do to start building wealth. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. I love that. A wealth advocate on top. And that
Yes.
right there, that's just something that everybody should have. This is not about, that's not even entrepreneurial. Whether you are working for somebody or working for yourself, having your wealth right is something that should be there. That was almost a tongue twister. So you kind of already started leading into it. What does that mean? What do you do? What is your business?
I own the largest African American owned real estate firm in Northern California. I've been in business in real estate business for about 16 years. Through that, I just been, my mission and goal was to help others just to kind of achieve wealth through home ownership. And over the years, that's really expanded, and not just helping our clients, but also helping our agents to really understand the wealth principles. Whether it's real estate, whether it's helping people with multiple revenue streams, whether it's helping them with their credit. I have a best-selling book about credit. Whether it's helping them with investment strategies. I give basic, simple, step-by-step information on how do you get there. The things that the wealthy people know that the common people don't know. My mission and goal is to help everyday people, just like you, just like me, to get that knowledge so that we can start building.
The wealth secrets don't have to be wealth secrets, but we have to put ourselves in a position to get access to that. In which, I don't know which way you want to go with this today. We know that the podcast is all about inspiring women. And I know a lot about your story when you started 16 years ago with the real estate industry, and you branched out and you began to do other things. I want to know if I can take you down this angle. You let me know if I'm kind of off.
It's all good. I'm going wherever you go.
So here's this thing, because I really want women to have a real visual on the building. You built an empire in the real estate arena. And as you built that empire, over the course of time, you've branched out and you've offered other products and services, whether that's now your wealth education, that's been the books that you've written, and God knows what other plethora of streams of incomes you may have created. Even though you had a successful platform, can you talk to the ladies about any of the struggles or the pitfalls? Because I think that sometimes people think that, because I'm established, if I could just get established, then everything I touch will turn to gold. Now, the probability is higher, but that doesn't mean that struggle or some kind of trial doesn't come at all as you continue to build out with your business.
Yeah. Nothing has come on this without struggle and hard work. Nothing that I've done, everything has been with challenge. And it's how you, I guess, attack your challenge with grace and ease. If you can go through that with grace and come through the other side, then that's when, the celebration is so much more worthy. I started out, I was 23 when I bought my first home. And I was working in the Silicon Valley. It was me and my husband and my daughter, and I was commuting, 4 hours a day, and struggle. Thought, I wanted, when we bought our home, I kind of like real estate. I kind of like what it did for me, helped some of my family after. Because before I got my license, I was probably one of the first people in my family to buy a home. Okay. And so after I bought a home, then I started kind of saying, hey, telling other people, the possibilities, because so many people felt like it wasn't in the cards for them. So many people that I meet now feel that they're not worthy of something as simple as home ownership. And so when I started, it was definitely famine. First 6 months, I didn't make anything. And I have the same spreadsheet that I had from 2003. So I started in 2002, end of 2002. So 2003 was really my first year working. And you could see in the spreadsheet, because I use the same spreadsheet, money going out, no money coming in. I didn't have a job. I got laid off from my IT job. So I'm just all in investing in real estate, and I'm investing. I'm, money going out on advertising, no money coming in January. Same in February, money going out, no money coming in. I'm starving. I'm looking at my baby girl. She needs diapers and daycare. I'm still investing in my business. And oftentimes when we are struggling, we think of the struggle first before we think of the success on the other side. Yeah. And so it's so important that we have our eye on the possibilities of success. So just keep your eye focused. Yeah. I know right now it's hard, but I'm going to still put that money in my business because I know something will come into fruition. And so there's this Bible verse that says, you know, don't be weary and well doing, for in due season you're going to reap your harvest. So as you continue to invest, and I did that January, February, March, April, May, nothing. Finally in June is when I closed my first deal. But between June and December, I made $70,000. But that was all of making nothing. And in my job in the IT business, before that, I was making $70,000 a year doing IT. I was an IT analyst. And from June to December, I made $70,000. And there was nothing from January to June. Excuse me, it was actually July when I started closing. So from January to June, there was nothing. From July to December, I made $70,000. But that was all the sewing that I had done from January to June, with nothing in return, no deal in sight, just the faith and the hunger and the desire to be successful. And that's when it finally came. And it was struggle. You know, it was, you know, behind on our mortgage payments, behind on our bills. And we had nothing but the belief that something better was going to come ahead. And so that's what that was the burning in my belly, that I knew that I just had to invest in myself, that I was my biggest commodity. And if I didn't invest in anything else, investing in myself was the thing that I needed to do in order to see success on the other side. And that's kind of where it all started. And so I've never made under six figures after that first year. And but I definitely attribute it to God, number one. But number two is just that work ethic. Like, it's just the grind. And in this business, it's feast or famine, but you always have to be working, because you never know when you're going to have that famine. So you got to store for the time that it gets slow. But, you know, the work never stops.
No, dude, there's so many nuggets, you know, wrapped in everything that you said. And I want to go back to some of those things. Ladies, I know that when it comes to coaching, what happens with a lot of you guys is you start looking at, oh, I got this going on, I got that going on. It's a little bit tight, and I need to invest, but I'm going to make the money first. But the thing is, you really don't have what you need to run a profitable business. And it doesn't necessarily always mean that it's a coach. It may mean reading a whole bunch of books and whatever, you know, but you got to start somewhere. And then it's amazing to me how many people will invest in the business last, but they want the business to grow so that they can be able to invest. Yes. And so, you know, you at some point you have to realize that it's something that keeps on going. And I know that you have a coach now. I know that I have a couple coaches now. And here it is, you're expressing your success, but that investment side of you hasn't gone away. I put a post up, and it was probably like maybe 6 months ago, that says that if you're going to become an entrepreneur, you for doggone sure better make investing a lifestyle. You should just invest in personal development, period, in my own opinion. But as an entrepreneur, you absolutely need to invest. And listen to what you said earlier too about the whole thing about unworthiness. So many entrepreneurs, you don't even know what you're worthy of or what you deserve, whether that's on a personal level with the kind of people that you come across with buying a home, or even if that's on a pricing level with how you price out your products and services, what your expectation should be for somebody to come and work with you. You don't know how to bid that thing. And I hear that warrior in you. And I don't think that a lot of people really get it. You should have a return on investment, but what ends up happening with a lot of you is you have unrealistic expectations for that return. Think about that. You invested. You're saying you invested for 6 months straight and you still didn't reap a profit. Now, and you didn't just invest in yourself as in getting some type of tool or some type of training or seminars and books or coaching. You also invested your time, your energy, and your effort. And I'm a little perturbed on a continuous basis every day because I keep seeing things that are like, oh, like the law of attraction or something is this gimmick where all you do is think yourself to $1 million, and that word grind or hustle and work ethic are taboo, but you have to endure for your season in order for you to be able to reap your harvest. So thank you, because there was gold in everything you just said from sharing that part of your story.
Thank you. Thank you.
So here you are, you know, and kind of going back to the original question, while it isn't a struggle for you to make money anymore, as you've gotten out there and you've done things like, for instance, positioning your book. You have the book, you have the other products and services, you still have to advertise, market. You still have to, every time you come with something new, you have to make your presence known that here I am. Of course, if you got a fan base, it doesn't take as long to penetrate. But for you, do you have any personal stories of where it may not have been a flop, but you just didn't get the return, the expectation on something that you created and put out there? And it's like, oh, well, back to the drawing board. Let me go do something else. And then you did get the expectation you were looking for.
Absolutely. I think that's with everything. And I think oftentimes when we don't get it the first go around, or when we have these expectations of what we think that it should do coming out the gate, and it doesn't do what we think it's going to do, then we kind of just put it on a shelf and we don't do anything with it. But if it's something that you truly believe in, you got to retool it, rework it. You know, when God puts something inside you, when God puts something in your belly and he says, this is who you are, and this is the purpose you need to walk in, and you know that you know that you know. Oftentimes, August, we know what we know, but then when we get out there and it's not received, we'll give it up and we'll put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
And we'll say that's, you know, this ain't it, and I'm just gonna throw that away. I'm gonna do something different. But when you know that God has birthed something inside of you, and even if it doesn't come out the right way the first time, that's not the end all be all. You know, I'm a fervent believer, and you just got to keep working and grinding and hustling. You know, that's all part of, you know, the goals that I set for myself, right? Because we talked about the fears last time, but there's also 5 steps to setting goals. And one of the steps is working that thing, you know, because embodying something, because faith without works is dead. So, you know, retool it, rework it, but keep doing it. Because if it doesn't happen the first time, I promise you, everything that you put in ends up coming back out. That's a universal principle. That's the law of attraction. That's a biblical principle. Everything that you put in, you're going to reap something from it. So just like, you know, when you reap bad stuff is going to come back. But if you're working and you're grinding and you know this is what you're supposed to be doing and you continue to do it, you know, even with in the real estate business, I tell my agents, and I have a lot of brand new agents. And the principle with real estate is everything you do, you should as you're prospecting, as you're working, you should see a return in 90 days. But when that 90 days comes, oftentimes we'll take a break and we're like, okay, life is good. And we'll stop going to the thing that we need to do to keep working and keep making sure and keep making ourselves better and to keep training. And sometimes we'll get to a point where we think we've arrived. And we can't do that. We have to continue to, you talked about personal development, professional development. I spent $150,000 this last year alone in professional development and personal development. So I truly, truly, truly believe in it. But again, like I said earlier, I am my biggest investment. I'm my biggest commodity. You know, I got a PhD, a public high school diploma. So I don't have any fancy degrees, right? So I have to, you know, everything I do is I'm just putting back in myself because of what I lack, because of that lack of education, quote unquote, that I have. But I believe that you just really got to just continue to put in yourself and then continue to work that thing that God has put in you and birth it so that it's a full, healthy, vibrant baby. And
Absolutely.
then you can start to nurture it after that.
Yeah, you know, and I love what you're saying. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep putting it out there. You got to keep showing up. But here's one of the things I talk to people about a lot, and I'm sure this will resonate with you. Most of us, when we see this grand thing, this thing that's in our belly, we're all connected. And so there's something that we're supposed to be doing, and it's connected to other people. And when you first get a glimpse of your dream, when you first get a glimpse of what you're supposed to do, it's all inside of you. And you have to marry that with the people that you were created to serve. And so when you initially get out there, All you have is, look at me, I arrived and I've got this for you. And the person on the other side hasn't had that time for the relationship to be cultivated. They haven't had a chance to hear you and process what you're saying. Your communication may be vague and obscure. You're only thinking of it from the way you want to give it, but it's in the relationships. That's why you got to keep showing up. That's why you got to keep speaking your message. That's why you got to not be so offended when things don't go the way you want them to go, so that you can hear the feedback. So that a person could say, oh, wow, that sounds good. And it would also be great if, oh, this sounds good. I was talking to somebody who might need this and they said that. He'd be like, oh, I didn't think about it from that perspective. And in that, we learn our marketing vernacular. And in that, we learn rapport and customer relations. And in that, we get built and we get stronger. I say that whenever you're trying to build a business and it's been solely based on what's inside of your brain, for me, that is the definition of arrogance. When you couple what's in your passion with the people that you're supposed to serve, they will tell you exactly what you need to know. They'll tell you what you need to do. They'll tell you how you need to serve it to them. And all you need to do is then continue to show up. And so some of you that are listening to this podcast, you've been showing up and you've been doing, but you're so stuck to your original plan that, did you hear the sister say you got to tweak a little bit? You got it. Sometimes it's the timing. Sometimes it's the verbiage. Sometimes you got to realize that you were marketing to the wrong people, but you got to keep on being there. You got to keep on showing up and never stop. Right. So where are you at, and how are you adding people into the process for whatever this thing is that you're creating that they're supposed to get access to? Because if ain't nobody buying houses from you through your company, Constance Carter is not getting money. If people aren't coming to you to get the information to build wealth, Constance Carter is not going to have any money. Relationships is in the fiber of every piece of your business.
That's right. It's so important that, again, whatever we do, that we do with this fervent passion. But it's all part of what I embody in terms of how I set my goals for myself. It all goes back, I guess, to how I embody what it is that I do in terms of every project, or every year when I set goals for myself, the way I teach my agents and coach my agents how to set goals for themselves. So there's 5 steps really. So the first thing you have to do, whatever it is you want to do, you have to dream or think or visualize it in your mind, right? So you got to just have a vision. That's biblical. The Bible says without a lack of vision, what happens?
We perish.
Mm-hmm. So we need to have a vision in our mind. The second thing we have to do is we need to write it down.
Make it plain.
So all of my goals, yes, write down the vision and make it plain. My goals are in my phone, and I do not lose my phone. My phone is with me every place I go. So I'm on my way right now to a basketball tournament to Vegas, and I might lose a kid along the way, but I tell you what, I will not lose my phone. I might leave a kid at the rest stop, but my phone ain't going nowhere. You know how we are with our phones. So I have all of my goals, all my to-dos, everything that I learned, every time I'm at a conference, a workshop, all my notes are in my phone. So I have access to it at all times. So I write down my goals in my phone. And then the third thing is to speak it, right? Because life and death are in the power of the tongue.
Yes.
Your words are prophetic. So I speak my goals every day as though they are affirmations. I speak life into my goals, right? So the fourth thing is to embody or work your goal, because faith without works is what? Is dead, right? So you have the law of attraction where you just thinking and chilling and thinking and chilling. No. That's not how it works. You could think, visualize, right? But you have to work it. Yes. You have to work that thing. You got to eat, breathe, sleep, drink. So when everybody else sleep, guess what? I'm working, and I told you before, I'm the first one in the office, last one out most days. I didn't leave last night the office until 10 o'clock last night, because I'm always working. I'm always trying to grow. I'm always trying to learn. I'm always, there's always something. One thing about successful people is we're always thinking of ways that we can change the game, and always, something exciting. When you have an entrepreneur or a CEO that sells his company, he's thinking about the next company he's gonna purchase. he ain't just at a beach chilling for the rest of his life. He's always thinking. And that's what highly productive and highly successful people do. They're always thinking. So you have to embody and work your goals. And then the fifth step is the manifestation. So when you think about it, when you speak it, when you visualize it, when you work it, the manifestation occurs. So it's going to happen. All those things you have to do in order for that goal to manifest. It's imminent that it's going to happen.
Y'all, she come with the steps every single time. Last time it was the fears. This time it's the steps, the goals. I want to go back really quick before I respond to that, because I almost forgot something else that you said that I really believe is key for the listeners. You talked about basically that cycle. And as business owners, you know, we have these cycles in our business, and, you know, you're out there, you're marketing, you're putting the information out there. You finally get people to contact you, and you start making some sales, and you're making some money. And when you're making the money, all of a sudden you slow down. And if you haven't created something else for that to roll right into, then all of a sudden that's when you got, you know, that feast and famine. Sometimes that feast and famine, it really isn't because the marketplace isn't responding to you. It isn't because you've kept yourself noticeable in the marketplace.
Hello.
So, you know, when you got a plethora of clients, you can only do so much. I understand that some of you don't have sales teams, you don't have all of those things in position right now, but what you do have is the ability to still show up to a degree. I always tell my clients to make sure that you stay at the top of mind. I gave one of my clients this example. I remember when she started doing relationship coaching, and, you know, some of you all are doing what you're doing on the poor man's budget. You know how they talk about the poor man's copyright, you know, mail it to yourself. And so you may not have, you know, a marketing budget to do Facebook ads. I understand that some of you guys, that you got to do things from a very organic perspective. That's okay. But like I told her, if you don't have nothing else to do, if you don't have a plethora of clients and you ain't making money in your business, the least that you could do is you could show up. Because what if you show up on Monday and talk about the issues in the relationship? Well, on Monday, she may be all right. She'd be like, well, that was a good video, but I love my boo. We okay. Tuesday and Wednesday, you don't show up. Wednesday, he pisses her off. You don't show up on Thursday. Thursday, he tries to do the breakup to makeup. By the time you come back on Friday, she'll be like, yeah, well, we might have had a problem, but me and my boo, we could work our stuff out. We're okay. But if you're in that ear and you said something on Monday and she said we okay, and you said something on Tuesday, you'd be like, man, you know what, she sure is right, because I'm going through something right now. And then you happen to be in tune with the message on Wednesday. You're constantly in that person's ear in the ebb and flow in their relationships. And so you're not just a sporadic appearance. And that's why some people would always tell me, August, how is it that you're in my brain? Why does it seem like you're a fly on the wall? But I'm going to tell you something. When I didn't have nothing but me, August was on all the social media platforms. I was going to make sure you knew who I was. And whether I got a client or not, no matter how happy I was still in that cycle of showing up. And some of you, your business is suffering because you're not there. You're not there. I did it. I'm going to segue with this really quick too. I remember I had a group and I did a challenge. And the challenge was for like 3 or 5 people to volunteer to do this challenge with their Facebook business pages. And I said, okay, we're going to pick one person, and all 5 of us, in order to boost the algorithm, we're going to go to their pages. We're going to like things. We're going to comment. And if we see something that's of value, we're going to share. And we're going to do it at different times. And the person came back in saying, oh, my God, that was so hard. I couldn't keep up with all the comments. To try to keep up with everybody, I felt like I was glued to my phone. But these people wanted online businesses. They wanted Facebook groups that paid them. And it's like, but you crying with 5 people paying you attention. You got to be careful. Sometimes you got to simulate. You know, you got to do simulations in order for people to really get the gist of, you know, what they're saying that they want. And that's why I like what you do with your goals, because when you started off from the beginning with saying that you embody it, and that is something that I put that out there a lot. How many of you are really embodying what you want? And if you're not doing the things that she said, like literally visualizing and writing it down, then how do you even know what you're doing from day to day? Some of you are so random. It's like, I want this today. I want that tomorrow. I want that the next day. And you're like a sea. I mean, you're like a boat being tossed by the wind. and you don't know which way you're going from one second to the next. And so if you're constantly changing what she said in step 3, if you're constantly changing what you're speaking, there's no consistency in that. If you're constantly changing what you're speaking, you're constantly changing what you're programming in your mind. So how can you embody it? How can you work it? How can you manifest it? Get in a place, sit down, know that you know that you know that you know that you know why you're here. And like she said, watch those universal principles come to pass. Watch what it is that you expect to manifest. I know they heard you, Constance, but tell people again, you're the only African American where you are?
I am the owner of the largest African American owned real estate firm in Northern California.
We're not getting ready to go into a whole race conversation. That's not what that is about. This is about, that is a very beautiful, marvelous. That's an excellent level of achievement. Okay. Especially in the craziness that we're dealing with in, the U.S. right now.
Now, mind you, I have a very diverse team. When I say African American owned, it's because I am the owner and I'm African American. I have white, Hispanic, Asian, African American. I have people from all races that work for me, and we're a reflection of the community.
Yes.
But being that I'm the owner, I own the largest African American owned real estate firm.
And listen to the work ethic that you put behind that. First one in, last one out. When I hear the gimmicks about early retirement, I used to say when I first started coming out, I used to be like, that's the biggest crock of bull I ever heard, because, a person is truly passionate about what they do. Then they still trying to do their own stunts when they starring in movies. The purpose of entrepreneurship is not the path to laziness. It's the path to creativity. It's the burning desire that I can't stop doing what I'm doing. You literally have to pull people away. Think about George Fraser. That man was 73 years old and he was still doing the conference. He can't stop because it's the passion inside of them. So something has to be a bigger driving force. You're firm. You fuel people. You pour seeds into a lot of people. I already know that you invest in yourself. You put that out there on multiple occasions. You got this fabulous work ethic. What other jewels can you give people, like maybe their tools, resources, what their circle should, matter of fact, what should their circle look like in order to start making sure that they have people that are going to help the foundation of their success?
Absolutely. Well, before I go there, I just want to tell you, I don't work because I have to. I work because I want to. So it's a passion of mine. And I don't want to say I'm a workaholic, but I just, there's so many things that I want to accomplish in this world, August, that's the reason why I'm there. So it's not because I have to. It's because I truly enjoy what it is that I'm doing. But I do believe you have to, like seeing you at the Power Networking Conference a couple weeks ago. I've been going there for the last maybe 7-8 years. Those are the type of people that we should all try to aspire to be around. You always want to be around people who are smarter than you. My circle of friends, they're smarter than me. George Fraser, and I'm going to be crass, but George Fraser said one day, he said, if you round 3 rich people, you're going to be the 4th rich person. But if you round 3 hoes, you're going to be the 4th hoe.
Hello.
That's what George Fraser said. and that's a very real principle. If you're around people that are striving and are going in your direction, you always want to be with people who are doing better than you. You always want to have a coach. Michael Jordan, the best player in the game, he still needed a coach.
Yes.
And his coach advised him that you are not going to win a championship if you are making all the points by yourself. You have to utilize your other players. So it's the same thing with us in our business. We have to have other people around us that are going to be able to help us take our vision to the next level. And so operating within our strengths is important, and understanding what your strengths are. Like I did a strengths assessment with Gallup, the Gallup poll.
Yeah.
They have Strengths Finder, and they tell you your top 5 strengths. Right. And so it's so funny because I have all my agents take the Strengths Finder assessment. And like mine is all about loving people and just being a relator and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, I want to be the strategic, and I want to be, and I'm envying them because of their strengths. But the beautiful thing is I have them and I can operate optimally in being that person that loves and that can inspire others, and then have those people who are futuristic, or have those people who are strategic, or have those people who have the responsibility strength around me so that they can take care of those other things, and not worry about operating in what I'm weak at, but operating in what I'm strong at, and making sure that the other people, whether you pay them or not. One of the things that Lisa Nichols told me a couple weeks ago, she said when you have volunteers, you don't always rush to pay everybody. That's another thing. You have people around you, people around you, they want to help you because they want to help you, right? And when you rush to pay somebody, say you have a project and say you can't pay them anymore, then they get to acting a little bit different, right?
Real
You
talk.
start paying a volunteer, they don't become volunteers no more. Then they kind of looking at you a little bit differently.
True.
And so it's important that you just have people around you who just want to help you just because they want to help you and they want to help the cause. And it's not just about them always getting paid. And so even those people who are around you just to help, that carry those strengths that you don't have, is so important.
Absolutely. That, once again, a lot bottled up in there. Your circle, it needs to be smarter than you. All right. I don't know. Do you want to have you look? You want to be rich? Or you want to be a hoe? I don't know which one you want,
George.
But check your circle so you can really find out which one you gonna be. I ain't gonna even go there, but I love the joke he told about bullshit. I said, okay, he's a character.
Wait, what did he say?
The joke about bullshit with the turkey found out that he could eat flies at the top of the tree if he ate the bullshit. Do you remember that one? That. Oh,
I wasn't in there.
Okay, I'm not gonna look. I don't want to destroy the joke, so I'm not gonna try to retell it. But it was funny when he said it, and I just was dying laughing. So, oh God! But once again, that goes back to that all connectedness. I love the way that you put the emphasis on having people around you that compliment you. And I remember many years ago, I read some books by John C. Maxwell, and he talked about, matter of fact, it was the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And he was talking about how some people try to strengthen their weaknesses. And it's like, no, capitalize on your strengths and then get people around you who have your weaknesses. Once again, that's about embodying a spirit of connectedness and understanding that nobody makes it alone. And so I love all of that. And I just love how I just always resonate with the things that you're speaking. People, if you're listening to this, you like really should be doing like an evaluation right now. Who am I around? How are they impacting me? Do they compliment me? Or are they counterproductive? What is their life looking like? Am I writing my goals down? Am I embodying them? Am I doing what I'm so passionate about doing, that I work because I have to? Because I want to, not because I have to. Are you the smartest person in the room or not? Are you able to humbly accept help? And do you take your time and patiently and observe people that come around you as you're growing and developing? Just so many nuggets wrapped up inside of here. We already know this because we've been here before. We could talk all day and go back and forth, because you're going to say something that's going to stimulate me. And it looks like I'm going to say something that's going to stimulate you too.
You are the bomb, August. I love you, girl.
I love you to pieces because you always bring so much value. When I get to hear you, there's value, and you've literally blessed the people. If you want to know how to elevate, you want to know how to elevate, then rewind this episode and listen to it again, just with the simple 5 principles behind setting that goal alone. That ought to make you really say, am I doing that? With all of that being said, I want people to stay in contact with you. I want them to know where you are. I want them to follow you. I want, we never know when they may need some level of access. So tell them with the URLs, you guys, all you got to do is go to the realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com site, go to the featured speakers tab, and you can click to connect with her, but let them know where's your preferred, place of them getting in contact with you. And do you have anything that's really good for them to tap into, for instance, like your book,
Yes, ma'am. So there's a couple of ways. I got a couple of sites. I got a couple of things going on. If you're looking for real estate, you can go to my website, catalystrealestate.com, Catalyst Real Estate Professionals. I do have a free ebook, 6 ways to improve your credit in 30 days, 100 points in 30 days, And that could be, you can get that off my website, constancecarter.com.
All right.
I also have a couple of training programs. And again, my mission and goal is to teach people on a very basic level on how to create the life of their dreams through these wealth principles. And so I have a money management mindset course, Grow Your Money, Don't Blow Your Money. And I also have the Build Credit to Build Wealth, showing you how to use your credit as leverage to build wealth, what wealthy people do, because they don't use their own money when they're building wealth. They use OPM, other people's money. So we talk about how to use OPM through leverage, through your credit. And then I also have I do some coaching, some one-on-one mastermind wealth mapping coaching to just help specifically that person, individual, on what they need to do in order to grow their net worth at least 100% within 12 months. And I guarantee it. So I can help you grow your net worth at least 100% within 12 months. And I follow you through that process. And that's on mywealthroadmap.com.
Okay. Now y'all need to tap into that one. She said she guarantees it. We won't go into the whole look. That's part of what the networking conference was drilling in people is what is your net worth, especially the huge disparity between the races in different demographic regions. But we're gonna leave that alone. Listen, you guys. She has, look, no pun intended, a wealth of resources for you. So,
hey,
so go click the link, go get the information. Constance, thank you. I know your schedule is very rigorous. Thank you for taking time out to be a part of this. And this is a timeless interview. The second one today, I had to say this is a very timeless interview that no matter whether it's today, tomorrow, 3 years from now, somebody comes up and pops up on this podcast, you have definitely put something out there that is going to bless.
Thank you so much, August, and I am just so honored to be a part of your podcast. I appreciate you having me on, and I just adore and love you, girl. I love everything that you're doing. I love that mind of yours. I love everything that you say. I follow you. I think you are absolutely magnificently wonderful. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you. You guys do what you do. Get out there. No whining, no bitching, complaining. Get out there and beast your business. Grind. Take it. Deuces. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to cultivate a mindset that is biased towards taking action. No bitching, whining, or complaining. Here, our mantra is, real women don't bitch. We get shit done. See you next week as I continue to bring you what you need to keep your head in the game and beast your business. Don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. Would you like a specific topic covered? Have a question you would like answered live? Then head on over to realwomendon'tbitchpodcast.com. Subscribe to my email list, hit me up, and I got you. Interested in being a guest speaker? You walk the walk? Then you can sign up on the website too. This is your #1 advanced mental conditioning specialist for entrepreneurs, Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. Signing out. Deuces.
Inspire, empower, grab your girls and soar a little higher. Unlock the fire in you.